The heist of the century is underway, but if Barbara and Minerva and Jade Nguyen want to pull it off, they're going to need to gather one hell of a crew. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Cheetah and Cheshire, Rob the Justice League issue number 2, and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so this second issue wastes absolutely no time getting started. We're at Cheshire's apartment, where her and Cheetah are already going over prospective members for their heist team. Right off the bat, Cheetah says no AAA villains, no one from the Legion of Doom, and no world-conquering types. It's only a matter of time before they end up stabbing you in the back. And of course, Cheetah is talking from experience here, as you'll remember in the pages of the new JLU. The Legion actually did end up framing her for a crime she didn't commit. Another reason I absolutely loved this second issue is because they're doing all of this at Jade's apartment. Her daughter, Leanne Harper, is there. And if you're wondering what Roy Harper's daughter's relationship with the Cheetah is, it's absolutely adorable. She views Barbara as her cool aunt. Hey, hope you don't mind, I'm eating the leftovers in the fridge. You ladies working? Why, are you gonna tell your dad about it? Pff, as if. Seriously, this is such a cool dynamic. Why aren't there like 100 Leanne stories about how she can easily move through both the superhero and supervillain communities? Now, Jade and Barbara know they're going to need some muscle, some tech, and some extra flavor if they want to pull off this job, but they can't exactly agree on who they want to get, so they decide to split the workload and meet up later once they got a better picture. Jade decides to take a trip over to Atlantic City, where she has her eye set on recruiting one Becky Sharp. Don't know who this woman is? Well, she's better known as Hazard, daughter of forgettable Superman foe, the Gambler, who also just so happens to have the ability to screw with probability and basically control luck. In the old stories, they were never exactly clear how she was able to do this, if it was mechanical dice or magic powers. In fact, this story actually goes a long way to clear that up by saying that her powers actually got supercharged by the events of absolute power, though clearly her life isn't going so good, as she's pulling cons with Grandpa Gambler in Atlantic City. Like, seriously, they couldn't even go to Vegas. So yeah, if it means getting out from under this type of life, Hazard is most definitely in and willing to take this job. Now after that, we check on in with the next prospective member of the team, and it's none other than Klarion the Witch Boy. It seems that him and his familiar Tikal are attempting to steal a rare book known as the Liber Ivanis, and why yes, that is 100% an H.P. Lovecraft reference. Comics and comic writers sure do love them some Cthulhu, don't they? Of course, Klarion doesn't get a chance to steal the book because Cheetah already beat him to the punch. They actually do a very fun and funny dialogue thing here where Klarion can understand everything Tikal is saying and we as the reader can read what he's saying, but no one else can hear it. Basically, they got a whole Han Shui thing going on. Barbara tries to tempt Klarion to join this heist, not just because there's going to be a lot of really great magical books to steal aboard the Watchtower, but also because of her secret, secondary motive to stick it to a god. And hey, two guesses as to which god she hopes to try and stick it to, am I right? Clarion's interest is piqued, and Tikal basically agrees to go along with it because, well, Cheetah is a big cat, and, well, law of the jungle and all that. So far, it really looks like this heist crew is coming together. Unfortunately, the two women still can't agree on who they're going to pick for muscle. Shaggy Man, ugh, he's too silly. Croc, too dumb. Complicating matters is that poor Cheetah is once again overcome by her uncontrollable bloodlust that we saw showcased in the last issue. Leanne actually offers up a pretty interesting question in this situation. Basically, why does the god who gives Cheetah her power do this to her as well? And Barbara Ann's answer is damn horrifying. She says that this is basically how the dark god gets his kicks. It's all about humiliation, watching her debase herself by devouring a living thing. Which, you know, given that, it certainly makes a lot of sense as to why she would want to stick it to this dark god and get out from under this really messed up arrangement. Leanne's also not just good at asking questions, too. She also thinks she might very well have managed to track down the muscle her mom and aunt have needed via, get this, Instagram of all places. You see, there's a young woman out there by the name of Alia. She also goes by Featherweight, though I don't think she's actually picked that name just yet. Not only is she super strong despite looking about 100 pounds soaking wet, but she also has a real strength of conviction too, fighting for human rights, even when it means clashing with police who view her as a criminal. Oh, what an interesting take on crime and justice. She certainly doesn't seem like the sort of person who would betray the rest of the crew to enrich herself, and hey, she has a cat theme too, so she's basically perfect for this team. And once Jade and Barbara Ann come to that realization, it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody. And so that was Cheetah and Cheshire, Rob the Justice League issue number 2. too. And overall, I thought it was a very strong, very fun, particularly funny issue. In fact, I'll go out on a limb and say I liked it much more than the first issue. I like we're getting a nice mix of old characters who don't get the spotlights and some fun new ones too. Rucka has always had such an interesting interpretation of the DC universe and its many characters, and it's so cool to see them bounce off each other here, with the unique and ultimately very, very human voices that he gives them. By far, my biggest complaint is still the complaint I had from the first issue, and that is that the entire thing feels like it whizzes by incredibly quickly. I'm so locked in, so engrossed, I just wish I had more. And as far as criticisms, I guess that's a pretty good criticism to have at the end of the day, isn't it? Overall, I would give this one another very well deserved 8 out of 10. Things are certainly heating up in this story, and I cannot wait to see where it all goes next. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.